The NFL on Fox. We welcome you to Minneapolis. The 2-1 Atlanta Falcons against the 1-2 Minnesota Vikings. With Rondé Barber and Chris Myers, Atlanta has the #1 scoring offense in the league, and it's the debut, at least the starting debut, of 21-year-old first-round pick quarterback for the Vikings, Teddy Bridgewater.
And I'm impressed that the moment is not too big for him, Chris. He told us that he's not nervous, but this team is going to have to move the ball down the field to compete with these Atlanta Falcons. They are explosive with Matt Ryan. Julio Jones is back. This will be a fun game to watch, Chris.
And Atlanta won the toss. Of course, they want the football. They've lost 8 of their last 9 games on the road. Devin Hester, the all-time return king. And a week ago, Thursday, 56 points put up for the Falcons. Game 4 underway. Atlanta, Minnesota, Devin Hester, and they're not going to give him a chance. Matt Ryan will lead the offense from the 20-yard line. He's only missed 2 games in his entire career, and coming off a performance where he completed 21 out of 24, setting a team record just over 87% completion against the Buccaneers, who, by the way, upset the Steelers today in Pittsburgh.
Great win for the Buccaneers today, but they were completely annihilated last week by Matt Ryan. Julio Jones, who was leading the league in receivers coming into this week, will be a big target for him. We'll see if that combination can get going early here.
Roddy White and Jones, top of your screen. Steven Jackson in the back. Matt Ryan to throw. And incomplete. The coverage excellent over there by Xavier Rhodes on Roddy White. The Atlanta offense, they're without their third receiver, Harry Douglas, out with a foot injury, so we'll see more of Devin Hester and Courtney Roby.
Yeah, Devin Hester, obviously the big return guy for this, but getting an opportunity to play wide receiver in this offense, we'll see a lot of him today.
Hester in the lineup, on the field on 2nd and 10. Handoff, Steven Jackson waiting for a hole and nowhere to go. Everson Griffin leading the defense up front for Minnesota. It'll be 3rd down for the Falcons. We welcome those of you that watch the Buccaneers upset the Steelers. Rondé Barber, Chris Myers, Jennifer Hale. Just underway in Minnesota. 3rd down, first possession for Atlanta from the 20. Is going to go down, and here comes a flag. Sharif Floyd with the sack.
Get a lot of pressure up front.
Offense, number 63. Penalties applied. 4th down.
You see the pressure coming up front by the Minnesota Vikings here. And if you watch down the field, though, watch Harrison Smith come underneath Julio Jones. Xavier Rhodes over the top. Nowhere for Matt Ryan to throw that football. That was his primary receiver. Good job.
Matt Bosher to punt, averaging 46 yards a boot. Marcus Sherrill standing at the Viking 30. Fair catch called for. Around the 28-yard line of Minnesota. His first NFL start. Teddy Bridgewater said he woke up this week and said, I realize my NFL dream is here, and they're chanting Teddy here at the University of Minnesota Stadium.
Teddy had an opportunity to play last week against New Orleans. Like I said in the open, the moment wasn't too big for him, but he's got a big test in front of him today. He's going to have to put up some points, Chris, I think, to be able to compete with this Atlanta Falcons, and especially that offense.
Matt Asiata in the back. Bridgewater throwing and gets it to Asiata, who will be stopped short of the 30-yard line. This Viking offense missing 4 starters, so different from the opening lineup that started the regular season. Of course, no Adrian Peterson, Kyle Rudolph, Brandon Fusco, the right guard is out, Matt Castle injured out for the year on injured reserve.
I really believe they're going to have to run the football today, Chris. This offense cannot survive alone on Teddy Bridgewater's arm. We know he's got some talent, but they've struggled to run it. They're going to have to run it well today.
Bridgewater throwing again. Pass caught right around the 29. It'll be 3rd down, and this Atlanta defense, they use a lot of different players, and it's really kind of a 3-4 that can turn into anything else they wanted to.
That's exactly right. The 3 guys up front, married with Corey Bierman and Jonathan Massaquoi. We'll see a lot of OCU Manure on 3rd downs. Corey Peters, can't really tell what they're going to do, but they do a lot in Mike Nolan's defensive scheme.
Cordero Patterson, top of your screen on 3rd down and 7. 3 wide receivers.
Hey, kill it, kill it.
Pass for Jarius Wright. He has it. He's got a Viking 1st down. Jarius Wright is loose. All the way inside the 20 of Atlanta.
This was a really good job of the young quarterback check, and you see Jarius Wright right here. He checked at the line of scrimmage to that screen because he felt the pressure from Atlanta coming, and Jarius Wright does all the wet rest after the completion.
Bridgewater, 12 out of 20 in relief last week, and 3 out of 3 so far. Asiata the carry. Not much happening on the ground. Asiata came in averaging 3 yards a carry. This is his 3rd start this season. The Vikings have the 3rd youngest roster in the NFL behind the Rams and the Jags, and their 21-year-old quarterback part of that. But one who overwhelmed the team when he sat and talked with them in pre-draft meetings with his professionalism and his maturity. Bridgewater with time. He'll keep it and slide. He's a mobile quarterback, but one that doesn't necessarily look to run a lot.
He doesn't want to run, and when he does move in the pocket, as you watch him in the preseason, he's looking to throw the football. He's not one of these guys that's going to scramble and look to make a bunch of yardage. You saw him there. He got an opportunity to run. He went down with it immediately when he wasn't going to get the extra yards. Norv Turner noted to us that he doesn't want him to be a running quarterback either.
On 3rd and 4, Jarius Wright again. That's what sprung the play before. He's got it inside the 6 for a 1st and goal Vikings.
You'll notice all these easy throws. You got a rookie quarterback. 1st game, a lot of pressure, playing at home. Get the ball out of his hand quickly, get it to his playmakers so he doesn't have to do too much. Let the moment come to him. Don't try to force it on him, and they're doing a good job of that so far early in this game.
Vikings had 34 points in week 1 in St. Louis, only 16 points in the 2 games since. Patterson goes out to the left, top of your screen, with Jennings in the slot. Matt Asiata the carry and into the hole. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Last week when Teddy Bridgewater came into the football game in New Orleans, he was able to do the same thing, move the ball down the field. Yet they got there 3 times and had to settle for field goals on all occasions. This is an opportunity down here on the 2-yard line where I think they must score here early in the game.
Vikings come in having gone 20 possessions without scoring a touchdown. Remember, they scored on their first possession against New England. That was back in this stadium, week 2. Adam Thielen checks in at receiver. High snap. Matt Asiata has it and a Viking touchdown.
Got to feel real good if you're Teddy Bridgewater. 100% completion on that drive. Goes all the way down the field to make some really good decisions. You're able to run the ball into the end zone in the red zone, which is a plus for any offense. Get home starting off strong here at the University of Minnesota.
Blair Walsh for the extra points. Teddy Bridgewater said he wasn't nervous starting his first NFL game. On that drive, 4 out of 4, and his team in the end zone and with the lead.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine.
Unusually warm for this time of year. One of the hottest home games in the history of the Vikings, 82 degrees. And I don't think you have to worry about snow for a while. Of course, they played in Bloomington before the Dome, and their new stadium will be ready in 2016, their second home game here in this season. And a blazing start for the rookie quarterback of the Vikings. Devin Hester, as Mike Zimmer said, we hope he doesn't touch the football all day on returns. And so far, 2 for 2 in that department. Matt Ryan with 7 touchdown passes this year. His team behind. After a 3-and-out the first time they touched the football from the 20. Matt Ryan to give to Jackson. Steven Jackson with a big hole up near the 30. Close to an Atlanta first down. In fact, they marked it just a little bit short at age 31. Steven Jackson coming in. He's the NFL's active career rushing leader, just ahead of Adrian Peterson.
He's 31, but he looks like a spry 26-year-old. Part of that because he's going to share the load today with Jacquizz Rodgers and Anton Smith. Devontae Freeman might get some carries too.
On 2nd and short, first down, Jackson up across the 35-yard line. Steven Jackson in the eyes of Mike Smith with the other running backs you mentioned, Rondé. 12 to 15 touches should be plenty, so he is well paced for the season.
Yeah, he's got a lot of wear on his body. He's look at that, almost 11,000 rushing yards. He'll probably get that at some point this season. But you need him to be fresh year-round so those other guys can share the load. Be much more beneficial for this Atlanta Falcons offense.
First down just across the 35. Jackson again. Hit hard. Gerald Hodges is in there. Remember, no Chad Greenway. Also Jasper Brinkley helping out. Greenway snapping a string of 115 straight games at linebacker for Minnesota.
Yeah, we expect from Gerald Hodges some more athleticism to the position, but they're certainly going to miss Chad Greenway. He tried to play it out last week. He had the broken hand and the cracked ribs, and he just couldn't do it today.
Jacquizz Rodgers checks in at running back at 2nd and 10. Matt Ryan fires. Caught. That's Julio Jones, run out of bounds. It'll be 3rd down. Captain Munner went on him. Let's check in with Joel Platt for a game break.
All right, Chris, out to San Francisco. We go after a 3rd down sack. Trey Burton takes Scooter right into his own punter. It's blocked, and that's Brad Smith for the touchdown. And the Eagles up early, 7-0 in San Francisco. Back out to Minnesota. Chris, Rondé, and Jen.
Thank you, Joel. And here on 3rd down, 5 defensive backs come in for the Vikings. Jacquizz Rodgers the back.
Check out Julio Jones. He's up here all by himself. Harrison Smith underneath him to start. Let's see if the same defense.
Ryan to throw and open. That's Roddy White down to the 36 of Minnesota, welcoming back the veteran of 10 years. Last year missed 3 games, coming off a hamstring.
Roddy White. It's on the right side of your screen over here. You'll see him come in as we start this play and put all the emphasis over there on Julio Jones. But Roddy White, he's a great complimentary receiver. He's the leading all-time Atlanta receiver for a reason. He's back off injury from last week. Still doing it.
On first down, Jacquizz Rodgers. It's inside the 35 of Minnesota. Second possession for Atlanta. Vikings scored on their first possession as Bridgewater in his first NFL start, 4 out of 4, and Matt Asiata scoring the touchdown. Mike Smith, despite the 4-win season last year with all the injuries, has averaged double-digit wins.
Part of the reason that for that road record right there is because Matt Ryan hasn't been efficient. He had 3 interceptions week 2 in Cincinnati. He leads the league in interceptions on the road since the beginning of 2013. He'll have to be better today.
Devontae Freeman checks in at running back. Second and 8, 35-yard line. Freeman catches the floater from Ryan and goes out of bounds around the 30. Harrison Smith ran over there.
Some pads popping early in this game. Devontae Freeman, they could nail.
Nice job.
Freeman, the fourth-round draft pick from Florida State. He went to Miami Central. He beat Bridgewater and Miami Northwestern in high school back in 2010. Wonder if Teddy remembers. On 3rd and 2, Anton Smith checks in. He gets the carry. Squirming. This may be the first Mike Smith decision to make in this game. Whether to go for it or not, depending upon the spot, or if they require a measurement. He got the first down. Takes away the early drama.
You know, this Atlanta offense, one of the quickest striking offenses in the league. Got off on their 3 and out on the first drive, but this second drive, much more like what we're used to seeing from this unit.
Anton Smith takes the pitch, plenty of room to run, spins on a one-arm tackle, and his gang tackle, they kind of a global swarming over there, Vikings, to keep him inside the 24-yard line.
See, they're using 3 backs already so far in this game. Steven Jackson, we know what he is. He's a bruiser. He gets the ball downhill. But Anton Smith, Devontae Freeman offer little juice to this offense. You see how the speed on the outside, and they'll use them quite frequently in that role today.
Devin Hester, bottom of your screen. Julio Jones and Roddy White up at the top.
25, ready for lighting. Do it, son.
Matt Ryan with time for Hester, and he can't hold on. Xavier Rhodes was running with him, but it looked like it was on target.
Yeah, you see this man-on-man, but Xavier Rhodes goes to that little pump fake. Matt Ryan was going there the entire time. Tough catch, but good defense too by Xavier Rhodes. Not making that easy.
Now 3rd and 7 from the 24 of Minnesota.
You got Roddy White and Julio Jones, both of them up here.
Matt Ryan likes the coverage, wide open. That's going to be a touchdown, Atlanta. Roddy White. You called pre-snap, and it looked like confusion in the Vikings secondary.
Absolutely. The Vikings showing some blitz here, so you know these 2 guys are in man-to-man coverage. You see them give the signal. They're going to bracket that. One guy had to take Roddy White there. They messed up the communication, and he's wide open for an easy throw and catch for the touchdown.
24-yard touchdown pass on 3rd down for Matt Ryan. Matt Bryant on for the extra point to tie this game. Vikings score first, but Roddy White is back in form for Atlanta, and we're tied at 7. Rondé Barber, Chris Myers here in Minneapolis, where the Falcons have just tied the Vikings at 7. For Darrell Patterson, dangerous return man on kickoffs for the Vikings. And you see the numbers, 109, equaling the longest in NFL history, as Matt Bosher boots it high. Patterson, 4 yards deep, bringing it out. For Darrell Patterson, he gets a block. Run out of bounds across the 45 of Minnesota.
He had a lot of room there, Chris. Not very rare that you see him get that much room and not take this to the house, but you see the blocking up front. There's a crease. He jumps through it, and it's only the kicker. I'm surprised he's not in the end zone.
From the 47-yard line after the Patterson return, Teddy Bridgewater on 1st down. Falcons threatening blitz, they back off. Matt Asiata with the carry into Atlanta territory.
go back to that touchdown earlier. Watch Captain Munnerlyn. Captain Munnerlyn and Josh Robinson right there. This is Julio Jones. Watch them both take their eyes off Roddy White, pull their attention to number 11, and he's wide open for the touchdown.
It's a handoff. Asiata again, powering near a first down. Teddy Bridgewater, born in Miami, went to Louisville, wears gloves on both hands. It said it started obviously in the cooler weather, but he always changes gloves at the half.
I'm sure they get a little wet, sweat.
His mom, breast cancer survivor, when Teddy in high school got the news, and here to support him, Rose Murphy cheering him on, and that is a first down Minnesota after a couple of running plays.
Hey! Set! Move! Reduce it! Lady!
Time for Bridgewater on target. It's Greg Jennings. Inside the 15 of Atlanta.
What a confident throw that was, Chris. You see, Teddy Bridgewater, Corey Bierman is rerouting him, and as he's coming off, the ball is hitting Greg Jennings right in the face. You know, there's a guy on this team that has needed to step up the first 3 weeks. It is Greg Jennings. Darrell Reeves took him away a couple of weeks ago. He wasn't much of a factor last week, but that's a huge play for Teddy in this offense for him to make that kind of catch.
29-yard game, whatever those gloves are. Bridgewater, the hot hand. He's 5 out of 5 from the 14 now of Atlanta. He's set to throw again. Underneath, it's Matt Asiata, knocked down around the 13-yard line. Greg Jennings with that 13th catch leads the team in receptions, but Cordero Patterson leads this Viking team in receiving and rush yards.
Yeah, it's a rare instance that you have that, but he had the one explosive play in week 1 to get his numbers so high. Look at these yards after catch early in the game. 96, a couple of big explosive plays from Minnesota so far.
And off Matt Asiata, yes, another Viking touchdown.
Minnesota's offense hasn't scored in 3 games, and they haven't run the ball well in 3 games. But today, Khalil, Johnson, Sullivan, and Dukas up front, all these guys, look at the push they're getting on these Atlanta Falcon D linemen, and Matt Asiata running with his head down, falls in for his 2nd touchdown of the game.
They have used the pass to set up the run. It's a page out of the Atlanta offensive playbook as Blair Walsh lines up to make it 14-7. 2 possessions for the Vikings, 2 touchdowns. Both of them scored by Matt Asiata, but Teddy Bridgewater has aired it out to get him there. This October, history made as baseball's postseason moves to America's new sports network, Fox Sports 1. It's your home for baseball's National League Division and Championship Series. It begins Friday. Cardinals and Dodgers. Imagine Wainwright and Kershaw and the wild card team playing at Washington against the Nationals. Who will take it to the World Series? You'll find out this October on Fox Sports 1. Touchback so far, and that's again what Blair Walsh does to not allow a chance for Devin Hester and a return. We welcome you up to the booth here at the University of Minnesota on a warm day. 52,000 plus enjoying this, and what a start for Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, Teddy's been really sharp. I think North Turner's doing a great job so far keeping it simple for Teddy. The ball's out of his hands quickly. The running game is establishing itself, which it hasn't done in 3 weeks. So this is encouraging for this offense. Their defense has been really good so far, except for the one miscue on the touchdown.
North Turner, offensive coordinator upstairs. His son Scott Turner, the quarterback coach for Bridgewater, calling in the plays on the sideline. Meanwhile, Matt Ryan handing to Steven Jackson. And Matt Ryan with a touchdown pass to Roddy White. Remember, he's playing without Harry Douglas, inactive because of a foot injury. Normally the 3rd receiver on this team. This offense at home, they beat New Orleans put up a lot of points. Of course, a week ago Thursday, 56 points against Tampa Bay, second highest in franchise history. But on the road in Cincinnati, struggled. 3 interceptions in that game by Ryan, and that's Atlanta's only loss of the year. Jackson has it and lunges to the 30, near a first down for Atlanta.
Third down.
Matt Ryan is 4 out of 6 so far in this game. Steven Jackson has carried 6 times. And just short, it'll be third and less than a yard here as the first quarter is winding down. That extra effort, that surge by the veteran Jackson got him the first down when it looked like the Vikings had him pinned down. That is the end of the opening quarter here in Minnesota. The Vikings with a 14-7 lead. Atlanta's on the move. And we're glad you're watching the NFL on Fox. Friday Barber, Chris Squires here in Minneapolis on a hot day, more like Georgia weather here at the University of Minnesota Stadium outdoors. Matt Ryan with a fresh set of downs across the 30. And time to throw. And incomplete for Roddy White. Here comes a flag. Xavier Rhodes over there covering. Our referee is Ron Torbert, first-year referee, who has called the most penalties over the first 3 games, an average of 24 a game. Most in the NFL this year, but we did not have a penalty accepted in the opening quarter. Only one that was called.
Yeah, this crew has called a lot of the deep defensive pass interference, illegal contacts.
There is no foul on the play for offensive pass interference. It's an incomplete pass. Second down.
You played in the secondary. What do you think?
I think this is a good no call. You'll see Xavier Rhodes and Roddy White. And Xavier Rhodes has the right to hold his position there. Roddy White comes out, puts both hands on him, but it didn't affect the play. And Xavier Rhodes made it. So good job picking up that penalty there.
On Smith of Terry, and there's a hole for Smith, who gets up just short of the 40. Captain Munnerlyn making the tackle, and just short of the first down. It'll bring up third and short. Julio Jones, who came in leading the NFL in receiving yards, has 1 catch for 7 yards early in this game.
Steven Jackson comes back into the game after that Devontae Freeman run. Atlanta's doing a good job getting all these guys touches, but when they need that critical 1 yard, put the big guy in.
4 out of 5 on third down for Atlanta so far. Matt Ryan to throw. And he's going to go down. There's a flag in the secondary. Linval Joseph and Brian Robinson caught up to Ryan.
Before the quarterback left the pocket, illegal contact. Defense, number 29, 5-yard penalty. Added to the end of the run. First down.
Just mentioned that this crew is really big on this illegal contact, and Xavier Rhodes clearly past 5 yards, still contacting Julio Jones there, even though that had nothing to do with the outcome of the play. If you're past that 5-yard mark, the emphasis is going to be a penalty.
And when the NFL says point of emphasis in street parlance, that's we're going to overdo it and make the point. First down Atlanta. Devontae Freeman in at running back.
Sunday. Ready to go.
Freeman the carry. Stops short of midfield. Falcons, as you said, use an assortment Kind of a four-part backfield with Steven Jackson and Freeman and Smith and Jaquiz Rogers. No huddle here. Something that Matt Ryan said, we'll do it on the road. More comfortable at home, obviously, but they'll do it as much as 70% of the time.
Sunday! Let him go!
Pass is dropped. Trying to get it to the V. Toilolo.
Playing that no huddle on the road is more difficult, Chris, because obviously the communication's different, but the play calls are the same. Whether he gets in the huddle, gets his guys together, makes the call, or calls it from the line of scrimmage, it's the same calls, but just communicating across all 10 guys could be a problem if this crowd gets loud, and it's getting pretty loud here in Minnesota today.
On 3rd and 7. From midfield. Matt Ryan, incomplete. Roddy White was the target.
Couple of drops early. Saw Toilolo missed the ball before this. This is a nice throw release by Matt Ryan, right on target for Roddy White. He had to extend, but it was still another drop for the Atlanta Falcons.
Atlanta came in having just 2 drop passes over the first 3 games, among the fewest in the league. Matt Bosher to punt. Marcus Sherrill standing inside the Minnesota 10. So after driving 80 yards the last time, the Falcon offense stalls at midfield. Fair catch. Lets it go. And an excellent punt. Down inside the 10, around the 7.5-yard line. We're in the second quarter in Minneapolis, and the hometown Vikings lead Matt Ryan at Atlanta 14-7.
Game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads. By KFC, the world's best chicken. How do you KFC? And by T-Mobile.
Before the game, that's Mike Nolan, who was the head coach in San Francisco, now the defensive coordinator for Atlanta. North Turner, they worked together, and Mike Nolan said, I remember how North Turner worked with rookie quarterback Alex Smith back with the 49ers. I think that's how he's going to play things with Teddy Bridgewater today. Jerick McKinnon checks it at running back and gets the carry. The rookie from Georgia Southern. He's in Atlanta territory. All the way down to the 37-yard line of the Falcons. What a run.
Good blocking downfield there by Cordero Patterson on that run. Jerick McKinnon, we were looking for him last week a little bit. You see him here, gaping hole there. And this guy, when he gets in the open field, he is just as athletic as anybody on the field. They wanted to get him touches. They see him here, and after that play, he's telling them to keep feeding him the ball. This kid is exciting.
At 5'9", a 55-yard run to the 37 of the Falcons. McKinnon remains the back. Bridgewater to throw. All day. And incomplete for McKinnon, and that's the first incompletion for Teddy Bridgewater.
You could call that one a drop. But let's go to that running game. Jerick McKinnon, Matt Asiata so far today have been pounding away at this Atlanta Falcons defense. First couple of weeks, nothing there after Adrian Peterson was put on the commissioner's exempt list, but today, these guys are fired up and helping out their rookie quarterback.
Hey, kill it. Here we go. Hey, Kansas. Knife. Here we go. On express. To that.
I heard killing, I heard Kansas. McKinnon gets the football. Down to the 31-yard line. McKinnon was drafted in the 3rd round with a draft choice the Vikings got from Seattle in the Percy Harvin trade. He played quarterback, a number of other positions, running back at Georgia Southern.
If you watched him during the preseason, and I know all you Minnesota Vikings fans did, he was a great cutback, patient runner. He only got 2 touches last week in New Orleans, but we're seeing a little bit of what he brings to the table so far in those last 2 runs.
3rd and 4 from the 31. Bridgewater's throw incomplete. flags yet. Trying to get it to Chase Ford, the reserve tight end. And it's going to be 4th down, and here comes Blair Walsh.
Chase Ford was the intended receiver.
Falcons defense played that well.
Yeah, it was good of them to hold that, get held up. Teddy had to force that throw in there. It wasn't an ideal place for him to get rid of that ball, but there was pressure on him. He still sets up a Blair Walsh field goal opportunity.
A 49-yard try. He's made 5 of 6 this season. It sailed on him. A little bit different kicking outdoors than in the dome. But an impressive drive nonetheless. Atlanta takes over, trailing by 7. After the missed field goal, Matt Ryan set up pretty good field position from the Atlanta 39. Steven Jackson the back. Pass for Ronnie White, it's incomplete. Should he be going to Julio Jones more, or are the Vikings doubling Julio Jones?
Yeah, definitely on 3rd down, Julio Jones is getting the most amount of attention. We saw earlier in the game a couple instances where Harrison Smith was coming underneath him in pass coverage. So far, though, in these base downs, 1st and 2nd down, he's all alone. But so far, Matt Ryan hasn't been able to catch up to him.
Jackson remains the back. Hester in at receiver. 3 wide receivers on 2nd and 10. From the pocket. And he could not hold on. Ronnie White again.
That was just good coverage there by Josh Robinson. Playing man-to-man out here on the edge. They're not scared to put single safety in the hole. Josh Robinson on the outside. And, little tug, little grab, but just the wherewithal to get that hand in and knock that ball away is a good play.
On 3rd and 10. Matt Ryan. And it's caught by Julio Jones. There's a flag down as well, and he falls down at the 46 of Minnesota. Flag was in the backfield.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Defense, number 97. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, it's a 1st down.
Everson Griffin called for the penalty.
Yeah, it still went to double Julio. Josh Robinson's man to come. You'll see Anthony Barr right there come in underneath. Try to take away that window, but Matt Ryan with that great protection.
Jaquiz Rogers, they go without a huddle. Here comes a flag on the back end of the play.
Matt Ryan had enough protection in order to get that ball out, step up in the pocket, and find his guy.
Offense, number 61. It's a 10-yard penalty. Replay, 1st down.
The call on center Joe Hawley. It'll back Atlanta up to the 44-yard line. Mike Tice, former Viking head coach, the offensive line coach in Atlanta, who Matt Ryan raved about, said it's been a big difference. The addition of Jake Matthews. On 1st down, underneath, Jaquiz Rogers. He's in Viking territory. Helmet gets knocked off. It'll be... Here comes a flag late, some extra shoving after the play was well over with. Robert Blanton lost his helmet.
Tell you what, Chris, this Vikings defense is flying around today now. We've seen a couple of strong hits on the field already.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Offense, number 32. That 15-yard penalty is assessed from the end of the run. The down counts. It's 2nd down.
Jaquiz Rogers called for this.
I know it takes a couple of hits there. 4 or 5 Vikings just pounding into him. I know he's just frustrated. You just can't do that. It seemed simple enough, but in the eyes of the officials, another emphasis cut down on the unsportsmanlike play by players against your opponents, and there it was.
Atlanta going backwards at their own 37. They need to get all the way to the 36 of Minnesota. Jackson underneath. The point should be made. It'll be third down that Mike Zimmer spent years in Cincinnati as a defensive coordinator, the first-year head coach of the Vikings. And it's the same defense that he put together there in Cincinnati. Obviously not the same kind of players. But that gave Atlanta a hard time in week 2 on the road. And that's the same scheme anyway that the Vikings run here.
Same scheme, but Atlanta at least through this week had a chance to prepare and know what to expect from a Mike Zimmer type of defense. The same that they saw week 2 in Cincinnati. They'll definitely try to protect the ball, especially on this third and long situation now.
They need 20, and Ryan's on the run. Pass is caught by Julio Jones, and he got the first down at the 35. And Matt Ryan and his athletic ability to keep moving and waiting for his receiver to get open made it happen.
Just some undisciplined play, though, here in the secondary by the Minnesota Vikings. Matt Ryan forced out of the pocket by the pressure. They're just sitting in zone. Cover up a guy. Don't let, especially number 11, alone by himself. Stepped up when Matt Ryan got out of the pocket and left the number 11 wide open.
A 21-yard completion. And tough running, Steven Jackson inside the 30 of the Vikings. Atlanta's touchdown drive came on 11 plays covering 80 yards. And they were backed up on a 3rd and 20. And that conversion set them up in field goal range here on 2nd down 4. Anton Smith checks in as running back. Julio Jones has it. Has a block or 2 and a first down. Inside the 23-yard line.
It's a good example there, Chris, of, yeah, they're at the line of scrimmage. It looks like hurry up, but he's taking his time relaying the play here, finding himself, getting into the right call for what defense he thinks Minnesota is running. And we talk about Atlanta being an explosive offense. They're also very methodical. This has been a methodical, calculated drive. The conversions have been expertise.
Matt Ryan on the move, throws it high for Hester, who makes the catch and goes out of bounds. Let's get a game break. Check in with Joel Klatt. Joel?
All right, let's go out to San Francisco, and Colin Kaepernick showing off his athleticism, rolling to his left, one-footed. He's going to throw all the way across the field to number 21. That's Frank Gore. 55 yards later, he's in the end zone, and the 49ers up early, 10-7. We've seen this story before, guys. Chris and Rondé, back to you.
Thank you. The Eagles came in second in the NFL in scoring behind these Atlanta Falcons, both with only 7 today.
25! Check, check! Check, check! Sunday! Here we go!
2nd and 10. Complete at the 20. It's Hester. It'll bring up 3rd down. Devin Hester, who we know about his return accomplishments, but said when he came to Atlanta, he told Mike Smith, I want to earn the right to be on the field and be part of the offense as well.
I'll tell you what, he's in Chicago last year. When Lovie Smith was there, they utilized him as a wide receiver. But when Trestman came in Chicago, they did not want to use him in that role, and he came here to be used in that role, and he's getting the opportunity with Mike Smith.
Left guard Justin Blaylock of the Falcons is the injured player. You're watching the NFL on Fox here in Minneapolis.
This game is sponsored by Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL.
Gabe Karimi has come in at left guard for the injured Blaylock. Atlanta better than 87% in the red zone this year, best in the NFL. From the 15 on 3rd and 3. Ryan has trouble with the snap. On the run, completes inside the 5 to his tight end, Levine Toilolo. And the calm and cool of Matt Ryan made that play work.
Total broken play here, and as he scoops up this fumble, he looks like he's going to run. He's able, and the 2 inside linebackers from Minnesota step up. Anthony Barr there, Gerald Hodges, and he just dumps the ball over his head to Levine Toilolo for the first down.
1st and goal, Jaquiz Rogers the back for Ryan. Make that Steven Jackson in. Jackson the carry. And a surge again, and he's in for the, one official says touchdown, Steven Jackson.
Let's see here, Gerald Hodges, see if that knee goes down before that ball crosses the goal line, and I think it does. You saw it just right there. It's going to be about on the half-inch line if they go upstairs and review this.
And the command center taking a close look. Alberto Riveron, Dean Blandino helping the referee here, who will ultimately make the call, and that's why there is a hesitation. One official did rule it a touchdown, the other did not.
Previous play is under review. Timeout on the field.
Ruled a touchdown and being reviewed. Steven Jackson's touchdown run reviewed.
After review, the ball was at the half-yard line when the runner's knee touched the ground. It'll be second down and goal from the half-yard line with the ball in the middle of the field. There will be no clock adjustment. The clock will start on my ready for play.
Yeah, as we looked at this replay, he's clear that his knee is down right there. Ball short of the goal line. Going to be second down on the half-yard line.
Well, you spotted it right away, and in our command center, our rules analyst back at the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles, Michael Pereira, agreed with you, and the officials getting it right. Jackson remains the back. He gets the fake. Matt Ryan flips it. It's a touchdown, Falcons. Patrick DeMarco. You could hear the giggling all the way up here, the fullback.
I think everybody in the stadium, certainly on that Minnesota Vikings defense, thought this was going to be a stretch run to Steven Jackson. But Patrick DeMarco slips out into the flat, uncontested, and another easy throw from Matt Ryan and a touchdown.
DeMarco, his fourth catch of this season, his first touchdown with all those other running backs carrying the football. He gets 6, and now the extra point for Matt Ryan. And at one time facing a 3rd and 20. Matt Ryan with a touchdown toss, and we're tied. Tomorrow on Fox is fall's #1 new drama, Gotham. It's an epic battle of good versus evil. Check out the new Gotham, followed by an all-new Sleepy Hollow. That's tomorrow night on Fox. With Rondé Barber and Jen Hale down on the field, Chris Myers. Glad to have you watching from the University of Minnesota on a sun-splashed day over 80 degrees. And Cordero Patterson, who had a spectacular return to set up Teddy Bridgewater and the offensive 49 yards. Hopes to get involved in the offense.
We haven't seen a touch from him yet today on offense. I think they have to get him a little bit more involved here. He is certainly one of their bigger playmakers.
And they want to keep it away from him. Wisely done on the part of the Falcons. Well, the Vikings talked about this despite starting their rookie quarterback. They didn't want to get into one of those track meet scoring affairs with the Falcons, but I guess Atlanta's not leaving them much choice.
Well, Atlanta's one of those teams that once they get rolling, they're rolling, and Minnesota's going to have to keep this going, especially with Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, I've been impressed. Early completion success, getting the running game going. Seems like they're going to be able to keep up with this pace so far.
Bridgewater, 6 out of 8. He has not run with the football, actually won on a failed play, but not a designed run. On first down, Matt Asiata powering across the 26-yard line. Let's get a game break again and check in with Joel Klatt. Joel?
All right, Chris, how about Darren Sproles for Philadelphia? His face mask gets grabbed. Don't worry, there was a flag for that, but then he's gone. Motoring down the field. That's a touchdown. 3 non-offensive touchdowns for Philadelphia in this ball game. They're up 21-10. Chris and Rondé.
Thanks, Joel. And San Francisco, disappointing start to the season. Matt Asiata on second down. Nowhere to go. It'll bring up 3rd and a couple. Let's check in down on the field with Jen Hale.
Well, Chris, Justin Blaylock and these Falcons trainers have been fighting to get his lower back stretched out enough for him to be able to return to this game, but so far he is questionable. Meanwhile, William Moore, safety for the Falcons, is also questionable with a shoulder injury. Chris, I can tell you the heat is certainly affecting both sidelines. Several Vikings players have been using oxygen, and Tyson Jackson on the Falcons sideline tells me it's hotter right now in Minneapolis than it's been in Atlanta this week, Chris.
Matt Asiata all the way up to the 40 with an Atlanta first down. 3 straight runs from the Viking offense.
Well, it's just kind of stating your authority here. This offense all year long has been struggling in this run game, but look, you get the double team on the nose tackle there. Matt Asiata just sticking his head forward, getting the tough yards, identifying themselves on offense today, Chris.
The undrafted free agent, fake pass wide open. Rhett Ellison with a first down at the 41 of Atlanta. And an excellent fake from Bridgewater.
Yeah, the balance of this offense right now, North Turner's doing a really good job mixing it up. Obviously, a guy like Teddy Bridgewater, with his versatility, is able to do this. They look really good moving the ball right now, Chris.
Kind of a delayed handoff to Matt Asiata, as if Teddy Bridgewater didn't want to give it up there. He's starting at his 4th game in the NFL, of course, as a pro, and as a true freshman started in his 4th game for Louisville and revived that football program. And I think the Vikings, because of what's happened here, hoping that he could become the face of this franchise. At one time thought of as a #1 overall pick, Teddy Bridgewater, from the 3rd quarterback drafted. And starting today for the first time in the NFL. Pass is incomplete. He saw the pressure and got rid of it.
Robert McClain, good job on that play too, but look at the yards per play here. That is, nobody would have expected that if you would have asked them that an hour and a half ago before this game started, that Atlanta, with that high-flying offense, Matt Ryan and his weapons over there, would be a full half of what Teddy Bridgewater and his offense is producing today.
3rd down at 6. On the fringe of field goal range. Time for Bridgewater. And open. Jarius Wright.
Teddy Bridgewater looks as calm and cool as any 21-year-old could possibly look in the pocket. I got to give a lot of credit to this offensive line, but Jarius Wright, who North Turner told us we have to get this kid more involved and more touches, and so far today, he has been Teddy's favorite target.
4 catches in the game. Without a huddle, they go to the line. A gain of 21 on the pass completion to Wright. Cordero Patterson, top of your screen, has yet to get a touch on the field. Asiata gets the carry. North Turner, who in San Diego coached a young Drew Brees, and said what he sees in Teddy Bridgewater that's similar is that he can make quick decisions and dissect the defense. For a young quarterback, that's an impressive thing.
Well, we all know what Drew is. He is as confident a quarterback, despite what people call limitations for him, not arm strength, doesn't have the ideal height. They both are similar in the regard that no situation is too big for him, and Teddy's showing that today.
And after he got into the game in New Orleans last week, when the game ended, Brees came over and told Teddy Bridgewater, "You look good out there. If you need any help, call me. Be glad to give you advice." On 2nd and 8. Room to run if he wants it. There goes Bridgewater. And touchdown, Teddy Bridgewater.
This Atlanta defensive front has given literally no pressure on Teddy Bridgewater today. They covered him up well there in the secondary, but Teddy, with that athleticism out of the pocket, he's not looking to run. We talked about it, but when you have that much room, you just go ahead and take it. His mom couldn't be more excited with the way her son is playing today.
A 13-yard run for his first NFL touchdown. You hear the chants of Teddy. 80-yard drive capped off by the 21-year-old rookie quarterback. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Rose Murphy, that's Teddy Bridgewater's mom, cheering on her son when he was in high school at age 14. The last child in the house, she said, I have breast cancer. And he said he was afraid. He said he watched her hair fall out, go through all that. But she always smiled and was encouraging. And from that point on, he said, if she can handle that, I can handle anything. And at 21 years old, he's starting in the NFL as the Atlanta offense will start from the 20-yard line. The greatest month in sports begins Friday with Game 1 of the National League Divisional Series on Fox Sports 1. And then next Saturday, 4th-ranked Oklahoma taking on TCU. That's on Fox. UFC Fight Night on Fox Sports 1. And then Sunday, Peyton Manning of the Broncos face the Cardinals. Other NFL action. It's Foxtoberfest. Friday continues all month long on Fox, Fox Sports 1, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. From the 20, first down, Matt Ryan, 13 out of 20. He's got 2 touchdown passes. Devontae Freeman as a receiver at the bottom of your screen. Matt Ryan goes that way. He falls down across the 25. Well, if any team can get into a scoring affair track meet and do well, home or road, it's Matt Ryan and the Falcons.
Absolutely. He thrives in these situations. He loves to have the ball in his hands, and he's got an opportunity here at the end of the half to answer that score from Minnesota.
All 3 timeouts for Atlanta. That's incomplete for Ronnie White. The coverage close, but no flag.
Josh Robinson's all over the place today. He's their 3rd corner, but he's playing a lot because Atlanta has 3 receivers on the field most of the game, and his assignment so far today has been tracking around Roddy White, and he's made 2 or 3 great plays on passes so far today.
Third down 4 from their own 26. Julio Jones, bottom of your screen. 2 receivers to the left. Harrison Smith drops off in deep coverage. Sideline throw is incomplete for Devin Hester. And the coverage was good.
Big stop there by the Minnesota Vikings. Playing man-to-man coverage, and Matt Ryan decides to take another shot at Devin Hester one-on-one over there with Xavier Rose, and just overthrows his target and gives Teddy Bridgewater in this offense an opportunity here with 1 minute and 32 seconds to extend this lead even more before the half.
Harry Douglas, the 2nd leading receiver on this team, not playing today. And it has been a bit of a factor for Matt Ryan. Marcus Sherrill's waving. Fair catch around the 15-yard line. Vikings offense will take over. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee, see what's coming up at the half.
All right, coming up on the Visa halftime, the Packers bounce back behind a big day from Aaron Rodgers. Steve Smith leads the Ravens to a blowout over his former team. And finally, the Bucs show how to complete the comeback in Pittsburgh. Those highlights and more coming up on the Visa halftime.
Thanks, Kurt. And this Viking offense has been so good that they haven't had to punt the ball today, which means that Devin Hester has not had a chance there, and obviously they've kept it away from him on kickoffs.
Well, if they were going to punt, I don't think that ball's going to him anyways. Mike Zimmer said, I think we're going to kick it out of bounds if he ever gets that opportunity, if he ever get an opportunity to.
Teddy Bridgewater drives, touchdown, missed field goal, touchdown. McKinnon carries. All 3 timeouts for the Vikings, and the Falcons will use one here, so they'll have 2 remaining in the half, and you see how much time, 1 minute 18. Vikings will get the football to start the second half. If you would have told me that Cordero Patterson would not have a touch, this Minnesota offense would still have 21 points in the first half of this game, I'd say no chance.
But you'd also not believe that Jerick McKinnon has a 55-yard run and Jarius Wright has a 52-yard completion. The explosive plays that have come out of this offense so far today have really balanced the power of this game. Atlanta, of course, they have the weapons on that side of the ball. Minnesota, though, with Teddy Bridgewater today, the emergence of Jerick McKinnon and Jarius Wright have matched them toe for toe.
He's working with a backup right guard, a backup tight end, obviously a backup running back, the undrafted free agent, and Matt Asiata from Utah. And in his first start in the NFL, has completed 8 of 11 and has run for a touchdown. Timeout! You heard it called from the field. Atlanta will have 1 timeout remaining. First rookie quarterback to start for the Vikings. A historical reference in 1961. 21-year-old Fran Tarkenton coming off the bench. 250 yards in this game, had 4 touchdowns. And lives in Atlanta, and I'm sure he's watching. Keeping a close eye on the rookie in purple against the Falcons.
Yeah, fans still wearing his jersey around here.
He's a character, Fran Tarkenton, even to this day. But boy, there's a guy who can run around and throw. The scrambling, the art of scrambling, Sir Francis. On 3rd and 1.
That's it. Lady, good hut.
McKinnon will have a first down. Across the 30, and he almost broke it.
Oh, did he ever, Chris? He is 1 trip away from going 60-something yards here. Jerick McKinnon, we know what kind of speed he has. Watch this. As he turns his corner, his own guy. Jerome Felton trips over his legs, or I think he outruns Prince Shimbo to the goal line there.
Vikings use a timeout. Minnesota will have 2 remaining. Atlanta was hoping their defense could force a punt. But now with 1:09, the Vikings might be thinking, let's get some extra points here.
Yeah, Mike Zimmer, I think he's got to be thinking, let's steal a possession here. You get a punt at the end of the half from Atlanta. You're able to get out of your red zone, which he is. You can get 30, 40 yards and set up maybe a long Blair Walsh field goal attempt.
Walsh has missed one earlier where the Vikings would have more points. He hesitated and incomplete. That was the first time that Bridgewater wasn't sure about where he was going with the football today.
Look at his scoring this season. Those other 2 games, not very effective getting the ball into the end zone. We talked about how many quarters it had taken them to score, but 21 points in the first half today. And this offense with Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback looks way more efficient than it ever did with Matt Castle.
2nd down 10.
Ready, good hut.
4-man pressure, open over the middle for a first down. McKinnon across midfield. Jerick McKinnon, who has played quarterback, running back, receiver, and defensive back in college. The Georgia Southern rookie putting on a show.
I'm telling you, we're seeing the emergence of a great playmaker today, Chris. Out of the backfield, obviously running the football.
Quick snap, Bridgewater, underneath again. Running with the football is Jarius Wright. Inside the 25 of Atlanta.
Mike Nolan's defense hasn't been able to create much pressure this year. They've got 3 sacks. All of them came last week. Watch Jerick McKinnon right here come up and pick this blitz up, allowing Teddy Bridgewater to find who is his #1 receiver so far today, Jarius Wright, for the big gain and giving them an opportunity to get more points on the board here before the end of the second quarter.
25-yard gain for Jarius Wright. 5 catches, first career 100-yard gain for Jarius Wright, the 3rd-year player drafted in the 4th round from Arkansas. From the 24 of Atlanta. Bridgewater on target. Chase Ford. 1st and goal Vikings, and we have a timeout.
Chase Ford just up off the practice squad because the injury to Kyle Rudolph. They'd had 2 others on the roster, but this is the guy they wanted to get the ball to in the passing game, and Teddy Bridgewater finds his target. I tell you, I can't tell you how impressed I am with Teddy Bridgewater, and the crowd is feeling it. Him too. Teddy's chance throughout this building. He's so poised, he's so calm, making great decisions, moving his offense.
He is the 8th different starting quarterback since 2010. That's among the most in the league, back to the Brett Favre days. And has started with a bang. 11 of 15, 197 yards passing. He's run twice, including the 13-yard score. McKinnon knocked down. Touchdown Vikings.
It's only right, Chris, that the guy that did most of the work on that drive get the ball there on that handoff, spread you out, thinking they're going to throw the ball to get into the end zone and hand it off to the little, quick, shifty Jerick McKinnon, who finds a way in for the touchdown, make this game 27-14 right before the half.
First NFL touchdown for Jerick McKinnon, and they are taking a closer look to confirm the scoring play. The command center in New York again helping out the officiating crew here. And we had a close call earlier on a Steven Jackson run. Let's take a closer look at this extra lunge here on the end of the play.
Again, I keep talking about the play of the line up front, but as he goes down, that ball, I think that's across the line. All it has to do is touch that white line and it's a touchdown, and I don't think there's going to be enough evidence. The officials right there, you see 124. Both line judges on either side gave the indication for touchdown. I think Jerick McKinnon is going to be still celebrating on the sideline here with his first professional score. Get a closer look here. It's going to be close. That elbow's down before that ball crosses. It'd be interesting to see what the call is from New York as
Mike Pereira, our rules analyst, with a look at it as well. Watching, Mike?
Yeah, I think it's short. You got to take a look at the knee and the elbow that hit with the ball still short of the goal line. So I think they have to reverse this and put it short. And we can take a look at it, and I think it's what you want to focus on is what put him down, what actually puts him down before he gets into the end zone. And watch here. Anything other than the hand or foot, down goes the thigh, down is the elbow, ball is short, so it is not a touchdown.
Thank you, Mike.
Well, if that's short, it's going to be on about the quarter-inch line. I mean, that ball, you're picking hairs there.
On that last replay, you could see where the ball went down. It looked like it did not break the plane. See what Ron Torbert says after consulting and reviewing.
The runner's knee was down with the ball at the half-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal on the left hash. By rule, the reversal requires that we run 10 seconds from the game clock. Please reset the game clock to 13 seconds. The clock will start on my ready for play.
Well, that changes things in terms of the amount of time that the Vikings have to work with. So he'll have to wait, Jerick McKinnon, on his first career touchdown. 2nd and goal. Bridgewater has it. He's in trouble. And throws back to the end zone. A leaping grab. Chase Ford was out of bounds. What an attempt at that football.
Yeah, good play by Atlanta to keep him in the pocket and throws up a 50-50 ball. But yeah, only 1 foot gets down there. I think that's a good call by the officials.
And Ford at 6'6" could get up and grab that thing.
Great catch, 1 foot down, and the rest is out of bounds.
But now what's important is there's not enough time to run another play, at least in the eyes of Mike Zimmer. He doesn't want to risk it, so he's going to take the field goal instead. And poor Jerick McKinnon, who thought he had a touchdown.
One of those rare instances where that runoff because of the replay hurt the offense. It almost seems unfair to Minnesota that because they had to review the touchdown that they miss out on those 10 seconds to give them another shot in the end zone.
And that's a fair point. They had a timeout. Minnesota could have used it had they known the clock would run. It wasn't their fault that it was called one way and then reviewed, but they get penalized with the clock for it. 5 seconds remain, and an 18-yarder for Blair Walsh, the attempt. Jeff Locke, the holder. And the Vikings take the points for a 10-point lead. But a spectacular drive with time winding down before the half.
Very impressive drive. Just the unfortunateness of the situation with that replay. You hope that those points don't come back and bite you later in the game. It's only a 10-point lead, which obviously would have been a 14-point advantage had that touchdown stood, or they had another opportunity to get into the end zone.
We know this is Bridgewater's moment, his stage, but the Viking running game is averaging 8 yards a carry today against this Atlanta defense.
We have not seen that in a long time from this Vikings offense. Because of that man right there, young Jerick McKinnon, some explosive runs so far today.
Jerick McKinnon, and look at the total yards, has been one of the players texting back and forth, keeping in touch with Adrian Peterson. He said he learned a lot from him in training camp. He showed him a lot about reading the defense, being patient when getting the handoff, and has kept in touch. And he looks up to Peterson, who says Jerick says he is my football mentor.
Well, you can see the influence. Like I said, I went back and watched a lot of Teddy Bridgewater preseason film, and with that, I saw a lot of 31, and he is a very patient runner. So far today, he's taking advantage of that tutelage from Adrian Peterson. It's been some explosive runs today.
Devin Hester finally with a chance on the return, and he makes that entertaining. And that is the end of the first half here at the University of Minnesota Field. The Vikings and rookie Teddy Bridgewater at his first NFL start with a 10-point lead. They get the football to start the second half. Let's head to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles for the Visa Halftime Report. Today's excitement is brought to you by Nissan. And exciting numbers for 21-year-old first-round draft pick Teddy Bridgewater, who has run for a touchdown and has the Vikings out to a 10-point lead over the 2-1 Atlanta Falcons. With Rondé Barber, Chris Myers, nice to have you watching with us. Well, Atlanta, you figure with a rookie making his first start, their defense should be able to make some adjustments to make it difficult on Bridgewater in the second half.
Well, you know, they haven't been generating much pass rush on Teddy Bridgewater. In fact, they've only got 3 sacks on the year. They haven't done anything up front to put pressure on him, and thus far, he's been very smart with the ball. No indication that any turnover is coming. 351 yards of offense is just spectacular for me for a rookie in his first start, and it's showing he's showing why they have so much confidence in him around that building. Teddy Bridgewater, I think, could be something special, Chris.
Atlanta has moved the football offensively with a couple of touchdowns, but the defense hasn't been able to stop the run either, which has played into the hands of Bridgewater in this Viking offense.
For sure. The best friend of a young quarterback is a run game. Matt Asiata and Jerick McKinnon today putting up about 75 yards of total offense in the run game has helped him out tremendously.
Best first half of offense from this Viking team since 2004. Matt Boschert to kick off. Cordero Patterson back to receive if he gets the chance. It's a liner on the move. He's bringing it out. Patterson up across the 30. Carrying people with him to the 34-yard line. Let's check in with Jennifer Hale on the field.
Well, Chris, Coach Mike Zimmer tells me he could not be more proud of how Teddy Bridgewater handled that first half. Everything from his checkdowns to his composure. His one piece of advice to his young quarterback at halftime: you're throwing so well, don't risk running it. But he does give a lot of credit to this Vikings ground game for opening things up for Bridgewater. Meanwhile, Mike Smith chastised his team for letting Teddy have basically whatever he wanted in the first half. Expect more up-tempo offense out of the Falcons this second half, Chris.
All right, thank you, Jen. Matt Asiata, who carried the load inside, 11 rushes for 52 yards. He is the running back. From the 34, he gets the carry, flag down right away, and a whistle.
Before the snap, false start. Offense, number 74, 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
That call on Charlie Johnson, only the second penalty accepted on the Vikings. The Falcons had 2 accepted on them, and those rush yards, that's what jumps out at you.
Yeah, those rush yards, obviously Teddy contributed that somewhat, but a lot of credit to that offensive line. I've talked about them briefly. You can't give them enough due so far today with the way they played against this Atlanta front.
Bridgewater sets up a screen. That's Matt Asiata, who's got some blockers, and it's well run. Back up near the 40-yard line. A healthy pickup after that penalty backed him up.
One thing Matt Asiata does really well is catch the ball out of the backfield. The first 2 games of the season, he had big completions, and Teddy's as confident getting the ball out to his number 1 option or the check down as anybody, and more oftentimes than not, that's going to be the running back, and it's Matt Asiata there.
Go without a huddle, second down. Jarius Wright, leading receiver in the game with 5 catches on the bottom of your screen. Middle of the field, Cordero Patterson. His first catch of the game, and it's a first down.
This offense is working at peak efficiency right now. You'll see the ride option or the read option look. And then Teddy Bridgewater drawing up those linebackers, dumps it in right behind him to Cordero Patterson for the first down.
Without a huddle. Delayed handoff to Asiata fighting, and Matt Asiata gains the yardage. You know, North Turner, the offensive coordinator, said in that first game when the Vikings won on the road in St. Louis, we used Cordero Patterson on a run, and he said we wanted to get defenses thinking about that. They've been keying on him ever since. So in a sense, he's been a decoy to allow other players to make their move.
Well, again, if you would have told me that they would have had the number of explosive plays that they had in the first half and he wouldn't have had any of them, I would have told you a liar that you were in another stadium. Cordero Patterson is an explosive player, but it's been the other guys today, Chris, that I've been most impressed with. The guys getting their opportunity, and they've shown so far for Teddy in this offense.
Second down 9. Bridgewater in trouble here. Gets out of the rush and is on the move. He slides at what looks to be right at the first down marker. You see the dirt kick up from this artificial surface.
I tell you what, that is one heck of an athletic move here. Watch this Olay and the spin move off of his own offensive tackle there. Matt Khalil picking up the first down. Teddy Bridgewater gives this offense so many more dynamics as a quarterback. This offense is much more efficient today. You got to love what Mike Zimmer's got to love what he's seeing.
10-yard run to the 32. He's run it 3 times today, including a 13-yard touchdown run. Matt Asiata falls down at the 28-yard line. The offensive stars, well, the rookie quarterback started it, and the rookie running back, McKinnon, as well.
Yeah, you saw the big catch early by Jennings, but it's been this guy, Jarius Wright, who's shown up today, been the most productive receiver on the field, and Jerick McKinnon, we're seeing the emergence of one of the good young running backs, and Teddy Bridgewater. Obviously, we know what he's brought to the table today, and we can't say enough of how impressed we are with the kid so far.
Matt Asiata straight ahead, near another Viking first down. Looks to be a little bit short. It'll bring up a 3rd and inches, depending upon the spot here, the measurement.
Brian Cox came in as defensive line coach.
Get back to that thought in a moment. Without a huddle, Bridgewater trying to go forward for the first.
I think he didn't get anywhere near close to that first down. Teddy is not the biggest guy for the position. He's real narrow frame, doesn't have some of that ideal height for a guy that wants to do a quarterback sneak, but it's like Mike Zimmer is contemplating what to do here on 4th and short. Offense is still on the field. This could be a big momentum continuation for the Minnesota Vikings if they decide to go for this.
They are 0 for 1 on 4th down this season. And we're going to have a timeout. The Vikings kind of rushed that 3rd and inches. But at the moment, going for it, will they draw Atlanta offside or actually go for it?
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine. By Nissan, innovation that excites. By Miller Lite, back in its original look, it's Miller time. And by Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving.
Mike Zimmer, frustrated with that series, had to burn a timeout, decided not to go for it on 4th and inches. So Blair Walsh, who has missed from 49 and made from 18, will make from 41. And the Vikings take the second half kickoff and add to their lead. 27-14 with 10:40 remaining here in the third. This October, history made as baseball's postseason moves to America's new sports network, Fox Sports 1. Your new home for baseball's National League Division and Championship Series. It begins Friday. Cardinals and Dodgers, rematch of last year's postseason meeting. Will the Giants or Pirates face the Nationals? Tune in and find out. Teddy Bridgewater, 13 out of 18. He's got 225 yards passing and his touchdown run. Vikings before the half had a McKinnon touchdown run, ruled a score, but then reviewed, take it away. Clock run off, and they had to settle for a field goal.
Yeah, you got to wonder that 10-second runoff rule. And obviously, Mike Pereira can give us better understanding for the reasons of that, but it was a situation that definitely hurt the Vikings there. It would have given them another play to try to get into the end zone, but as it stood, they got the 3 points on that long drive at the end of the second half.
We have not had a turnover in this game, and we have not had a sack of the quarterback. Blair Walsh will not give Hester a chance. Hits the goalpost upright. Let's go back down to the field and Jen Hale.
Well, Chris, I spoke with Teddy Bridgewater this morning about his mental, the way he was mentally approaching this game, and he said he was keeping everything the exact same way as he did in college, right down to the gump bracelet on his right wrist, GUMP. That acronym stands for Great Under Major Pressure, and Chris, it certainly seems like he is living up to that today, as he did throughout his career in Louisville.
Thank you, Jen, and proud that his mom, his girlfriend, and her mom are here in the crowd watching the game and enjoying it so far. From the 20-yard line, Matt Ryan has some catching up to do.
54. Sunday. Let him go.
Steven Jackson with a big hole. Something to think about this Viking defense. They have allowed just 19 total second half points. That's second best in the NFL coming into this weekend. Only Chicago was better.
Yeah, they held the high-flying New Orleans Saints last week to only 3 points in the second half. But it's early still in this second half here. Atlanta can take their time here. They don't have to feel like they got to chase the game yet. Give Matt Ryan a chance to use the running game. They'll still get an opportunity to get back in this football game.
Ryan from the pocket underneath to Jackson. He's going to fall forward for the first down. Looks like he crossed the 30. If that's good enough. And it is for a first down.
You know, this Falcons offense, unlike last year, you saw a lot of Matt Ryan in the shotgun. He was always felt like they were behind. This year, as I watched a lot of their film, Matt Ryan's taken a lot of snaps under center. It's because they want to emphasize this run game. It helps the play action pass. We're seeing it a lot today, Matt Ryan under center.
On first down, open is Julio Jones. He's at midfield for an Atlanta first down. His 5th catch of the game.
Vikings decide to bring some pressure here. Harrison Smith, and it leaves Xavier Rhodes one-on-one. You see the misstep there at the line of scrimmage. You get a receiver like Julio Jones, who's great down the field with speed and power, and if you're a step behind, you don't get hands-on. It's an easy throw and catch for that duo of Matt Ryan and number 11 there, Julio Jones.
Came in averaging 16 yards a catch. They've held him to 14, but that's his 5th catch of the game. Jackson with another Atlanta first down inside the 40 of Minnesota.
There you go, Chris. The patience, the balance. Keep this offense where it is here for Matt Ryan. Allow your running game to complement your passing game. They've done it on this drive. They're going to have to continue to do this. Not yet ready to get that sense of urgency where they feel like they can't win this football game.
Jaquiz Rogers in at running back from the 39.
Sunday. Let him go.
Matt Ryan underneath. Rogers met hard. Good tackle by Anthony Barr, the rookie who came in leading this team in tackles. The other first-round draft pick came ahead of Teddy Bridgewater.
Haven't talked about Anthony Barr yet today, but you put him on film and the kid is all over the field, makes tackles. Today he's wearing the green dot. You see it there on the back of his helmet with Chad Greenway out. Mike Zimmer gave him the opportunity to call plays. He said, just call what I called, kid. And he's done a lot of responsibility today for him, and he's played well so far.
Second and 7. Ryan under pressure. Has to get rid of it into the dirt. Into the turf, and he went down. Joseph and Robinson all over him. It'll be third down. Interesting that the pressure came and Ryan could not get comfortable.
Yeah, you see Brian Robinson come off the right side of your screen there, and Linval Joseph up the middle. They've been close to Matt all day today, but Matt has been very mobile in the pocket. He has the ability, unlike a lot of quarterbacks in this league, to step up and buy himself more time. They haven't been able to get a sack yet.
On 3rd and 7, drops it off. Devin Hester. He fights for the first down, and he's loose. Devin Hester has a Falcon touchdown.
You don't use this guy on offense. It's like you got a 66 vet sitting in your garage and you refuse to drive it. Chicago's thinking right now we should have given this kid the ball more last year. Matt Ryan does a good job here chasing the play at the line of scrimmage, setting up that screen to Devin Hester to beat that blitz, and he breaks a couple of tackles, and he's just athletic and fast and still got it, Chris, at 31 years of age. Dynamic playmaker in the NFL.
36 yards. Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator of Atlanta, dialing it up, and Matt Ryan and Hester executed perfectly. And now the extra point to get the Falcons to within 6 as Matt Ryan gets ready. Matt Ryan with his 10th touchdown pass of this season as Atlanta within 6 of the Vikings. Devin Hester, who said he contemplated retirement from the NFL in Chicago after Lovie Smith, his good friend, was let go as the head coach there. Almost signed with Tampa Bay, but settled in Atlanta when they gave him the chance, well, guaranteed money, but to play receiver along with returner, and he catches the touchdown pass from Matt Ryan. Cordero Patterson will wisely say, no, let's start at the 20-yard line. So Teddy Bridgewater will come out after Matt Ryan rallies the Falcons.
Game is sponsored by Verizon. More live games than ever before with NFL Mobile.
With Rondé Barber, Chris Myers back here in Minneapolis. Kamal Ishmael is in at safety. William Moore is out for the rest of the game. He's from Miami like Bridgewater. And in high school, defeated Bridgewater 45-0 in Bridgewater's first game when Teddy played receiver. On first down from the 20, McKinnon stopped after a gain of about 2.5 by Kamal Ishmael.
Mention his name, comes in, makes a tackle.
Had an interception return for a touchdown against Tampa Bay in that week ago Thursday. And he smiled when they asked him in Atlanta and said, I know all about Teddy Bridgewater from his high school days.
Well, been more of a situational player, but called on to replace more safety today.
Ball start. Offense, number 87, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Marquise Gray, the reserve tight end, the former quarterback for the Golden Gophers of Minnesota, who of course are the host, letting the Vikings hang out here until their new stadium is ready. And that drive by Ryan in Atlanta, 80 yards. They have been patient, Rondé. The Atlanta offense, they've had to work hard, but they have shown the ability to go the length of the field. Time for Bridgewater, and on target to Jennings, and he's got a first down.
You know how you help your quarterback? You're a veteran like Greg Jennings. Obviously, Teddy Bridgewater Look at the pocket he has here, patience. He finds his receiver. But watch Greg Jennings. Sticks his foot in the ground, gets vertical, creates that first down. You don't have to set up a tough situation for your young quarterback. Good conversion there.
Jarek McKinnon inside, stopped short of the 39-yard line. Bridgewater, the third quarterback taken, of course, behind Blake Bortles, who got the start for Jacksonville, and they're trailing in San Diego this afternoon. Johnny Manziel has yet to really play in Cleveland or for the Browns, who have the off week. And Teddy, his first start after getting in last week, and he said that experience was invaluable coming in on the road. On target to right. Jarius right to midfield. They were playing off him, and he took advantage.
They were. They gave him a lot of room there, and Teddy Bridgewater delivered a great ball out to Jarius right now. If you're Atlanta's defense right now, your quarterback just led an 80-yard drive to make this game 6 points. This is a time when you got to step up. Whether it's somebody up front make a play, somebody in the secondary make a play. They've been giving up way too much yard to this young quarterback today.
And in the air and incomplete. That's the kind of play you're talking about. And I was going to ask you, Ronnie, for all the years you played in this league, for a rookie quarterback in his first start to have the kind of success so far that we have seen all the way around, running, throwing, commanding the huddle, the no huddle. Very impressive from Bridgewater.
I remember my first start in the league, and it was not nearly as successful as this has been.
Your heart was pounding.
Yeah, my heart was pounding out of my chest. I knew that I wasn't ready. I was excited about my opportunity. But his poise and his calm under pressure, like I said early in this football game, it's not too big for him. This is exactly where he wants to be. He's been preparing for it his whole life, and we're seeing it unfold today.
On 2nd and 10, stepping up in the pocket, and incomplete, and almost intercepted. A little bit of an overthrow there. Atlanta had a chance for a takeaway, and the frustration of Desmond Trufant, who was the best cover guy in that secondary.
Yeah, you was just asked for a big play by the defense. It was like fielding a punt for Desmond Trufant. I know he's a great player. He's going to get a lot more opportunities in his career to make these type of plays, but you got to come down with that interception there. And again, it's Atlanta defense under pressure all day long. They got a 3rd and 10 here. You got a chance to get off the field. Steal some of this momentum that Teddy Bridgewater has brought to this offense.
Atlanta came in leading the league on points, on takeaways. They do not have a takeaway here. Bridgewater dancing around. There's a flag in the secondary on the other side of the field.
Penalty marker down in the secondary.
It looks like it's going to be a hold in the secondary, so got to give it, though.
Holding. Defense, number 50. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That's O.C. Umenyiora, who was dropping into coverage. They brought pressure from one side. O.C., who has been obviously been one of the great pass rushers in the league, being asked to drop into coverage, and he lost his man there and grabbed it. But you got to give credit there to Teddy Bridgewater, creating some more time
and making plays as he gets a first down and 10 from the 45 of Atlanta. McKinnon with a good hole. There comes a flag on the back end of that. There comes a second flag. And a hold against Minnesota, the quick indication.
Holding. Offense, number 62. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Vladimir Dukas, the penalty. I wanted to mention some of the Atlanta defensive players said what they noticed about Bridgewater studying game tape was that, like Russell Wilson in Seattle, he runs looking to throw. He doesn't just run and take off with the football.
Yeah, of course, if there's open grass, he's going to take it. But you're right. Like Russell Wilson, like some of the other mobile quarterbacks in this league that don't want to rely on their athleticism to be runners, they make room in the passing game with their feet, and Teddy is showing that today as good as anybody.
Jarek McKinnon setting this play out. Matt Asiata in the backfield.
Mike's spot three, my bad.
Asiata goes nowhere. Paul Warlow, who came in tied for the league lead in tackles, the linebacker, with his 7th tackle of this game, and leads the team in that department. One of the more relentless players in the NFL. Undrafted, unheralded, got his opportunity last year. We talked with him yesterday. And he said he's just, all I do is football and
hang out with my dogs.
What type of dog?
That's what he looks like.
You asked him what type of dog he had.
He had a German Shepherd.
Wouldn't want to get that thing angry. Or Paul Warlow. He's the working man's linebacker. On 2nd and 15. Oh, nice defensive play. Throw was a little behind. Robert Alford coming in to bat it away from Patterson. If you're the Vikings here, obviously you want points, but you want just a little more than leaving Atlanta room for a touchdown, a one-score game. Matt Ryan and his career of comebacks, always dangerous.
Still need to protect the ball. They've done that. I know it's 3rd and 15, and obviously the temptation is to want to get this, but your defense is playing well. Teddy Bridgewater is playing well. You're not asking him to do too much. Let's see if they continue that trend on this 3rd and long.
Need to get to the 35 of Atlanta. The screen, that's Jarius Wright, and Atlanta all over that. He may lose yardage. Dwight Lowry from his safety spot. And Devin Hester will have a chance, if they punt it anywhere near him, to return a punt. He already has a touchdown catch, well, a catch and carry of 36 yards. Jeff Locke, his first punt of this game, averaging over 46 yards a boot. And as Mike Zimmer told us, we don't want it anywhere near Devin Hester. Here comes a flag, and that's a short punt around the 26, 27-yard line. Four penalties called against the Vikings, accepted. 3 accepted against Atlanta. That's a 24-yard punt. It's not what the Vikings had in mind here.
That's a little too cautious.
But that's what Hester does to people.
You hit a mortar punt, you don't even change the field position at all.
Holding by the kicking team. Number 22. That 10-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. It'll be first down, Atlanta.
And the option given to Mike Smith, and he'll take it after the poor punt, so it really turns into just a 14-yard punt or exchange of the football. Great field position for Atlanta, trailing by 6. After the poor punt from the 37, Steven Jackson in the backfield. Matt Ryan gives it to him. Runs into his own man and goes down.
Chris, that was the best this Atlanta Falcons defense has looked all day. You know, they had that couple of big plays there at the beginning of that drive, but when they got past that 50, they buckled down. You just get the feeling, I don't know, maybe it's just me, that in 21-27 right now, that Matt Ryan and his offense are ready to take control. It's been in Minnesota's hands all day. But you got number 2 sitting back there, and that complement of receivers and running backs, you got to think this game's going to get real interesting real soon.
2nd and 10. Ryan deep and just does overthrow Ronnie White. Josh Robinson running with him stride for stride. He battled a hamstring all week during practice.
Real good coverage here. Kind of a delay play. Matt Ryan was actually looking to the other side, but as we've been talking about all day, he bought himself a little bit of time, stepped up in the pocket, and tried to get a big play over this corner there, but just a little bit out of the reach of Roddy White.
3rd down and 10.
Mike Zimmer's defense has been blitzing a lot in these situations. Let's see what he dials up here for 3rd and 10 for the Atlanta Falcons.
Matt Ryan steps up in the pocket and throws an excellent pass on target to Ronnie White for a first down.
And they dropped right into zone there, Chris. No pressure, just a 4-man rush up front. Matt Ryan buys enough time and gets a good ball off to Roddy White. Xavier Rhodes had a chance to knock that away. We saw Josh Robinson make a similar play on the other side. Good first down for the Falcons. Keep this drive alive.
Arthur! Sunday! Let him go!
Hand off, Anton Smith turns the corner. Anton Smith! He is going to score for the Falcons. A dash of 48 yards.
Like I said, it just felt like with that stop by that Atlanta defense that this offense was ready to explode, and they put in Anton Smith. Get this sweep out to the right. They seal the linebacker, the D in there. There's only one person left to make the tackle, and it's Captain Munnerlyn. He's getting blocked. Big play by the Atlanta offense. Give them a chance to take the lead here.
Former Florida State player, a free agent who battled a hamstring during the week, but he looked good on that run. And this extra point will give the Falcons a 1-point lead. You pound away with Steven Jackson, and then Anton Smith dashes 48 yards, and the Falcons lead in Minneapolis. Tonight it's the all-new Sunday Fun Day with the season premieres of The Simpsons, Brooklyn Nine-Nine on its new night, and the once-in-a-lifetime Family Guy / Simpsons Smash-tacular. Sunday Fun Day starts tonight, 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox. Anton Smith, he had a 38-yard touchdown run against Tampa Bay, his third touchdown of this season. 2 runs and 1 catch, and that gives the Falcons the lead as they kick off. Matt Bosher. See if Cordero Patterson has a chance on the return on the bounce, and no. Vikings will come out to the 20-yard line. Teddy Bridgewater, 16 of 24 so far to lead the offense. Let's head down to the field again and Jen.
Chris, a tough day for the Falcons O-line. Tackle Lamar Holmes is back in the locker room with a foot injury. He's questionable. Meanwhile, Justin Blaylock had that lower back injury in the first half. Chris, technically he's still listed as questionable, but he's still in the locker room. He did not return to the sidelines after the half, Chris.
And Peter Kahns went over to play left guard, Gabe Karimi to right tackle in that last drive for Atlanta, and they did the job springing the touchdown run. Asiata with about a 5-yard gain. Let's check in for a game break with Joel Klatt. Joel?
Chris, let's check in on the Niners. Trying to come back. It's 21-13. Kaepernick rolls to his left. Perfect throw. Better feet. Stevie Johnson, 12-yard touchdown catch. Aaronde Barber. There's no defense for the perfect throw and good feet, is there?
There is not, Joel.
A 1-point game in San Francisco and a 1-point game here. Chargers are blowing out Blake Bortles in Jacksonville and San Diego. On second down, Bridgewater having to play catch-up now. Wisely gets rid of it. Nothing was there.
Nothing was there. Yeah, you're right, Chris.
Corey Peters put a little pressure on late.
Had time. We haven't had a sack so far in the game today. That's because Teddy Bridgewater's been able to move around in this pocket, give himself some time. There was nobody there to get that ball in that empty formation, so he just let it out of bounds. Good play by him.
There have been a number of moments where this thing tilted, but one in the second half when 3rd and inches, they thought about going on 4th, instead kicked a field goal. And now the Vikings trailing by a point may come back to haunt them here.
That one and the one at the half. I think it could come back to be significant at the end of this football game.
Timeout. Bridgewater needs it. Minnesota will have 1 remaining. 72 touchdown passes in college at Louisville for Teddy Bridgewater. He's yet to throw a touchdown pass in the NFL. But he's thrown for 251 yards, and he has run for a touchdown. And now it's a different kind of a game. Seems like the Falcons have made some defensive adjustments with the rookie.
Well, I think Norv Turner, this offense has been really simple for Teddy. He started out quick throws, get the ball out of his hand, get it to his playmakers. He was able to move the ball up and down the field with a lot of efficiency. But so far in the second half, yeah, this Atlanta defense has needed to step up. They have stepped up. They got to stop there. And Matt Ryan and that offense, specifically that running game, got them right back into this football game and got a 1-point lead as you're sitting here now and putting the ball in Teddy Bridgewater's hands to see if they can get this game back in their favor.
Needs to get to the 30 for a first down. On 3rd down. Time going deep and wide open. And he overthrew Jarius Wright, who was running alone down the sideline.
Teddy had options there. He could have stepped up and ran that football too. It's hard to believe how Jarius Wright, who's having the game that he's having, gets this wide open You see him over there on Robert Alford. He gives him that stutter move. And he was running free if that ball is just a yard or two less thrown. But as it is, a long incompletion off the fourth down.
Jeff Locke was rattled the last time, trying to keep it away from Hester. Looking into the sun. It bounces inside the 50. Hester has it. And there's room on the sideline if he turns the corner. Run out of bounds. An excellent play over there. He might have been able to pick up more yardage. Jabari Price from the Vikings special teams laying out to keep Hester from getting more.
Big punt there by Jeff Locke. Changed the field position, but when you got a guy like Devin Hester, you know, I heard Brandon Marshall, his ex-teammate, say, when you're good with the ball, you're good with the ball. So get him the football, and there was no chance that he wasn't going to try to field that, and he almost was one tackle away from going the distance again.
A touchdown catch in this game. Meanwhile, Matt Ryan has been patient. He's been sharp. Has not turned it over. Has 3 touchdown passes. Devontae Freeman is the running back, the rookie from Florida State. Ryan fakes and fires for Julio Jones. Incomplete. Xavier Rhodes running back there. Blanton showed up late too.
Really good play there by Xavier Rhodes. Matt Ryan gives a play fake. Julio Jones ran an out and an up, but Xavier Rhodes was all over that and doesn't interfere with them. Is calm and patient when the ball is in the air, knocks it out of the grips of Julio Jones. That is a heck of a play.
Jones with 5 catches for 70 yards, but has been kept out of the end zone in this game. Handoff Freeman. That should bring about. And then here comes at the end of the quarter here, we have an injured player, I believe, a member of the Falcons who is down in pain, and that's center Joe Hawley. We've already seen Justin Blaylock and Lamar Holmes on that offensive line, have the lead.
Yeah, they might need Mike Tice to come put a uniform on. 3 linemen down. I wonder how many they have dressed, if they have the ability to deal with another injury on that front.
Well, James Stone is inactive. He plays inside in a reserve role as center and guard. So is Ryan Schrader.
Gabe Carini is the primary backup at right guard, right tackle, and left tackle, and he's already in the football game.
Peter Kahns would have to slide over to play center from the left guard spot, maybe move one of your tight ends over, or your fullback Patrick DeMarco, if Howley cannot play. Let's see how they line it up. And look, Matt Ryan is working with Peter Kahns right now, who has played some center.
Well, we know that Justin Blaylock went to the locker room earlier. They haven't listed him out, but as I look down on the field, Chris, I don't see him on the sideline. So for at least one play, Joe Howley's going to have to come out of the game. And as it stands, they don't have enough offensive linemen.
Well, they're bringing over the cart. We can only speculate until they set up Kahns at center. And then if they move Bear Pasco, the backup tight end, to Toilolo, or Patrick DeMarco from his fullback spot. It certainly will be challenging for Matt Ryan on this offense. On a warm, actually hot day for the fall here in Minneapolis, over 80 degrees. And Howley says thanks for the cheers and the applause, toughing it out down in the trenches. 5 seconds remain here in the third quarter. Vikings had a 10-point lead and stretched that to start the third quarter, and this is the offensive line that Matt Ryan will have to work with unless Holmes or Blaylock can come back out of the locker room. And that is the end of the third quarter. Atlanta leading by 1. They have the football. We're glad you're watching the NFL on Fox. Mike Tice working with the offensive line reserves.
Yeah, he's overtime now. The Atlanta Falcons only have 9 offensive linemen on the roster. 2 of them were down for the game, so that leaves 7, and 3 of them are hurt right now. So that leaves tight end Levine Toilolo. You see him right there playing right tackle in this offense now.
Peter Kahn's the center, Gabe Karimi the left guard on an important 3rd and 5. Freeman the back. Ryan to throw. And wide open, and he missed it. Pass fell short for Julio Jones. Looked like Matt Ryan threw that a little bit early.
He did throw it a little bit early, and Julio Jones had Xavier Rhodes on the ground. But, hey, give credit there to your backup or your emergency. We don't talk much about emergency tackles, but your emergency tackle there, Levine Toilolo, kept that pocket pretty clean right there.
Marcus Sherrill's back to receive the punt of Matt Bosher, standing at the 15. Again, the sun a bit of a factor here, coming through the open end of this stadium of the Golden Gophers. He's got it. It's a move on. Sherrill's across the 20. A quality return. Eric Weems making the tackle to set up the Viking offense. Week 4 continues with Sunday Night Football tonight, 8:30 Eastern on NBC. And tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN. Teddy Bridgewater, his first NFL start, the rushing touchdown. Ball has been sprayed around the running game. Jerick McKinnon, the rookie runner, 98 yards rushing.
53
has helped Minnesota with 27 points, but trailing by 1. Matt Asiata. In college, I know it's a different game, but Bridgewater at Louisville led numerous comebacks. 6 career game-winning drives for U of L. Looks like we have another injured player. Kamal Ishmael already thin. He was in for William Moore, who has been ruled out of this game with an injury. We will have more from Minnesota in just a moment.
Let me feel it. Hang on.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by Sprint. By Universal Pictures' Dracula Untold in theaters and IMAX October 10th. And by the agile, all-new Audi Q3. Stray the course.
With Rondé Barber and Jen Hale, Chris Myers as Desmond Southward replaces the injured Ishmael in the secondary. Bridgewater to throw. Wide open is Greg Jennings. There's a flag down in the middle of the field. He gets to the 45 of the Falcons. A 29-yard gain pending the flag.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 27. The penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
Mike Nolan continues to dial up blitzes at Teddy Bridgewater, but he's just unfazed by this. And watch this route by Greg Jennings. Fakes it inside. McClure has no idea where he goes. He disappears to the outside, and Teddy Bridgewater finds his most veteran receiver for the big game.
We're going to the mic.
From the 45. At one time, the Vikings had a 13-point lead. They're trailing by 1. Bridgewater right on target to Cordero Patterson.
Yeah, we keep talking about how good and how composed Teddy Bridgewater is, but look at him in this pocket. This is about as perfect as you get. There's no penetration, nobody pressuring the throw, and he finds his receiver running wide open through the middle of the field. Teddy Bridgewater's having a day, but all the credit so far has got to go to that offensive line.
He is over 300 yards passing at his first NFL start. Ishmael back in at safety for Atlanta. Bridgewater to throw again, end zone, and incomplete. Jennings running. 18 out of 29 for Bridgewater, and that touchdown run. Remember, there was a missed field goal by Blair Walsh, or this score would be different. Already in field goal range at the 23 of Atlanta.
Right 75.
After the fake inside the 10. A tough grab, but Jarius Wright reached back and held on to it.
I'm asking myself right now, because I haven't seen him on film so far this year. Where's this kid been? Playing one-on-one against their best defensive back there in Trufant, and he has won against anybody they line against him today. Big game for Jarius Wright so far.
Offensive coordinator North Turner told us on Friday, Jarius Wright can run. He could be a big part of this offense, and he is today with his 8th catch. Matt Asiata carries. Down inside the 5-yard line. It'll be 2nd down, goal to go Vikings. There's North Turner. Remember his son Scott Turner, a quarterback coach who works with Bridgewater and transfers the plays that North calls.
Scott Turner has been instrumental, I think, in where Teddy Bridgewater is going into this game. Matt Castle, as you remember, was the starter, but he was getting all the starter reps. But Scott Turner spent all his free time with Teddy Bridgewater, getting ready for this moment, and he has shown so far today.
3 wide receivers. Matt Asiata carries into the crowd. Cordero Patterson had joked this week and said he has 2 catches today. He said, I'd like to be the guy to catch that first touchdown pass in the NFL for Bridgewater. We're all impressed, as looks like Phil Lodeholt is limping, but he stays for the moment. Not enough to stay in. Heading over to the sideline. On 3rd and goal, Mike Harris comes in for Lodeholt at tackle. Late substitution here on defense. McKinnon the back. Bridgewater has the football. Stopped short of the goal line. It's going to be 4th down.
Decision time for Mike Zimmer. He knows that he's given away a couple of opportunities in the red zone already today. One wasn't his fault with the time running out, the time runoff at the end of the second half. He had a 4th and 1 earlier in this half that he decided not to go to. But right now, Mike Zimmer's going to pull the trigger. He's leaving his offense on the field, and they're going to take it opportunity to get this touchdown on 4th and 1.
Extra lineman Joe Berger comes in. North Turner dialing up something with a quarterback who has mobility. He's shown that already. Play clock running down. Vikings have only 1 timeout. And they're going to use it.
They got to think. Saw North Turner there in the booth. I'm sure he's got a direct line right now to Mike Zimmer, and he's got to be thinking, do we want to take the points and get the lead here, but only leave us with a 2-point advantage? Or we score a touchdown and really emphasize or really take control of this game a little bit more, make Matt Ryan have to drive down and score a touchdown. I know there's 10.5 minutes left in this game, but this is a big decision for the Minnesota sideline right now.
And it looked like Bridgewater was a little bit shaken up on that previous play. They wanted to make sure he was okay.
You see him turn his ankle a little bit there when he went to make that cut.
The other part of it is Mike Zimmer knows how well his defense is playing, even though Matt Ryan and this Atlanta offense can score. So even if you don't get in, you've got them backed up. 4th and goal for the Vikings. Matt Asiata the back. With the fullback Felton. Touchdown, Minnesota! Matt Asiata once again.
In my mind, Chris, the right call by Mike Zimmer to go for the touchdown here. Your offensive line is dominated in the run game with both runners. Matt Asiata's 2 touchdowns before this, adds his 3rd. Give them a chance to put themselves ahead. And I think now, Chris, you go for 2 points. Make sure it's a 7-point lead. If you convert either way, a touchdown would have beat you. So let's go for it here. Chance to make this even.
It's nice that you carry that conversion chart with you wherever we go. And what a gutsy call. First-year head coach Mike Zimmer, who has had to deal with a lot away from the field. But he's a football guy. And going for it on 4th with his rookie quarterback here in the 4th quarter. Trying to make it a 6-point game, make it 7 if they get the conversion. Bridgewater wide open. They got it. Red Ellison is good for 2.
Minnesota playing man-to-man, get the 2-point conversion, get that 7-point lead.
And on a 4th down gamble, number 44, Matt Asiata with a touchdown. They are checking the right foot, right ankle of Teddy Bridgewater. His left foot after that last drive. When they used their last timeout as he kind of limped away, but Matt Asiata scoring the touchdown. Devin Hester bringing it out for Atlanta. Hester with a solid return across the 25-yard line. It's a 7-point Viking lead. Baseball's postseason moves to America's new sports network Friday. Game 1 of the National League Division Series. The winner of the wild card, Giants or Pirates, they'll play Wednesday. They take on the Nationals, best record in the league this year in the National League. And the Cardinals and Dodgers, Wainwright and Kershaw, likely to be the pitching matchup. Wonder if Kershaw remembers Wainwright starting that All-Star game ahead of him. I know Dodger fans do. Fox Sports 1 is your home for October baseball in the National League postseason. Shovel pass, Jaquiz Rogers up to the 38-39-yard line of Atlanta. A makeshift offensive line for the Falcons.
3 major injuries at offensive line. You see Levine Toilolo there. Now your right tackle. Let's see what Mike Zimmer and his defense decides to do with that mismatch. Obviously, he is not a left tackle, but he's thrust into that role. We'll see if they can take advantage of him in the last 10 minutes of this football game.
After a gain of 12, first down. Steven Jackson, the running back. Ryan's pass. Ronnie White has it, and it's a first down just across the 50. Matt Ryan, his spectacular career, 25 game-winning drives. He's in a situation here with 9:45 and counting to do that. Of course, a touchdown and extra point only ties at the moment.
You're never out of a game when you have 2 as your quarterback. His years in this league, I've seen it. I've played against him. You know he's giving you an opportunity to win every single football game. He's got an opportunity again to do it today.
9 of those drives came on the road. Handoff Jackson. They lose yardage. Xavier Rhodes from his corner spot.
Yeah, these Viking corners, they're getting after. They're playing well in coverage. Coming up, tackling the big fella. You get him high, doesn't give an opportunity to break that tackle. Good way to wrestle him down to the ground. Good play there by Xavier Rhodes.
And interesting with the rookie Anthony Barr taking in the defensive signals, as you mentioned, and the rookie Teddy Bridgewater taking in the offensive signals. The 3rd youngest team in the NFL is ahead of the 2-1 Falcons here in the 4th quarter. Matt Ryan with time. Here comes a flag. Eric Weems makes the catch, knocked out at the 43.
Number 14, Eric Weems. Henry marked it down in the backfield.
Holding, offense, number 70. The 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
That's on the rookie first-round draft pick Jake Matthews as Tom Johnson was coming in.
There's Toilolo. I don't get what the Vikings are doing here. I asked if they should take advantage of him having to play tackle. Why not rush him on the edge? Make him move his feet. Make him do things, unconventional things that tackles have to do. Cannot have practiced it. Mike Zimmer and that defense should be heating them up there on that left side of that defense, and they haven't done it yet in 3 plays.
2nd and 22. Remember, they had a 3rd and 20 in the first half. Matt Ryan converted that, and it wound up being a touchdown drive. Quick pass, midfield. It'll be 3rd down. Hester knocked down right at the 50.
I'll tell you what, Devin Hester, you get the ball in his hands. Looks like every time it's coming his way that he has a chance to break it. He's, 31 years old. He told us he's not as fast as he used to be. He ran a 4.2 coming out. Well, he probably slowed down to about a 4.3, as he said, and I believe it. His feet are quick. He's a playmaker when the ball is in his hands. He almost looked like if he'd have broke that tackle, it would have been another huge play for them.
3rd and 12 from midfield.
Vikings got double mugs, all linebackers up there in the line of scrimmage.
Matt Ryan under pressure. He is going to go down. Anthony Barr.
This Vikings defense needed to come up with a big play. Both of these guys sitting in that A-gap. Confused the line. Anthony Barr with the delayed rush. Nobody accounts for him. He gets his 2nd sack of his young career.
Forced to punt. Matt Bosher standing at the 25 of Atlanta. 6:45 and counting. Marcus Sherrill's waving everybody off and coming up for it at the 20. Sherrill's down the sideline. And the punter Bosher kept him from going further.
Vikings get a big stop on defense. Punted away to Sherrills. They change field position almost to midfield. Big play.
And Bridgewater being helped and not looking comfortable. We will have more from Minneapolis. The Vikings lead Atlanta by 7. Christian Ponder in and hands off to Jerick McKinnon, who breaks loose. He's down to the 40 of Atlanta. So Teddy Bridgewater with a left ankle injury carted away moments ago, and so Christian Ponder, the backup quarterback, because Matt Castle is on injured reserve, takes over. And what does Ponder have to do with a 7-point lead and 6 minutes to go?
Chris, all he needs to do is manage this football game from here on out. And I got to imagine North Turner will not be calling many passes for Christian Ponder unless necessary. Your offensive line has been good today. Both running backs have been solid. Turn around, hand the ball off. Let this clock be your friend here.
Woody!
On 1st and 10. McKinnon cuts back, brought down at the 41. He was inactive a week ago. And the backup quarterback now in, Christian Ponder. Let's check in on the injury to Bridgewater and Jennifer Hale.
Well, Chris, Teddy is back in the locker room right now undergoing x-rays on that ankle to determine exactly what the extent of this injury is. I did try to speak with him as he was heading back into the locker room, and he gave me a big smile and 2 thumbs up. So we'll see what that means as this game clicks down, Chris.
Rhonda, here's the play. We'll spot shadow the ankle, that left ankle.
Yeah, you see it turned out there. Sometimes when you get in that angle, your foot's out, you get that what they call a high ankle sprain. It's a little bit higher up the ankle. It looked like what it may be.
McKinnon again on 2nd down, and the rookie from Georgia Southern, 112 yards rushing today. The emergency quarterback, just in case something happens to Ponder, is Jarius Wright, who has been a star receiver today, leading everybody with 8 catches and 132 yards.
And you know what? If they get to emergency quarterback, they better put Marquise Gray in there and let Jarius Wright continue to catch footballs. He's got 132 yards on 8 catches. I don't know if I want him throwing. I want him being on the receiving end.
But a critical range here, because a field goal makes it a 2-score game if you can get it closer. On 3rd down. Bad snap. Here comes a flag. Play dead.
Illegal snap by the center. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
So what would have been a 54-yard field goal with no gain, now you're pretty much out of the range at 59. Not worth the risk even for Blair Walsh. And for Christian Ponder, he, remember, now in his 4th year, 12th overall pick in 2011, had 9 starts last year. But the Vikings wanted to go in a different direction at quarterback. And
I don't think Mike Zimmer gave up on this kid, though. I think they know they have some talent in him. They're going to need him. Here you go, 4th game of the season. You got him.
3rd and 11. McKinnon carries. Ishmael, once he got inside the 39 of Atlanta, shoved him back. So it'll be 4th down, and they're considering, here comes Blair Walsh. He has made a 56-yarder. That's his career long. A strong leg, but remember, kicking outdoors. This is being Captain Obvious, but in the Metrodome, obviously, which is being redone as they'll have a new stadium here. This will be a 55-yard field goal.
Just keep in mind, they could just pooch this. He could snap it right to the kicker. If he misses from here.
The kick. It's good.
Hey, who am I to doubt him? Blair Walsh coming in big.
Well, Mike Zimmer has shown going for it on 4th down for the touchdown, going for the long field goal, and the Vikings have a 10-point 4th quarter lead. Blair Walsh, who missed from 49 yards earlier, a 55-yarder at a key spot. With Teddy Bridgewater injured, the rookie, he's the first rookie in franchise history to pass for over 300 yards in his first game. And they're checking his left ankle in the locker room. Matt Ryan will lead the offense from the 20-yard line. Trailing by 10. 3:38 to go, and the Falcons have all 3 of their timeouts. Ryan has thrown for 3 touchdowns today. We still haven't had a turnover in this game.
Haven't had a turnover yet. Matt Ryan talked about it earlier, thrives in these situations. He loves to have the ball in his hand with an opportunity to win it for his football team, and he'll need 2 scores now to get this victory on the road.
And he talked about last year, the 4-win season, learning to get the ball to different people. Adaptability is what he called it. So he has faith in everybody out there to catch the football. From the 20, Ryan's throw on target. Hester tackled right away. There's a flag down. Teddy Bridgewater coming back out from the locker room on the Vikings sideline. Encouraging for the Vikings. And impressive numbers.
Saw that 300-yard passer. Jerick McKinnon, rookie, 120 yards rushing today.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 11, blocking downfield. That's a 10-yard penalty. Replay 1st down.
Julio Jones called for the penalty.
It's another rule of emphasis, another point of emphasis this year. Those screens like that we just ran there, Julio Jones has to be less than 1 yard down the field, and he wasn't on that play.
Devin Hester slow to get up. He caught the pass and was tackled. Julio Jones blocking for downfield.
Here you see Julio Jones right here. He's got 1 yard. And he's driving Captain Munnerlyn well past that 1 yard before the ball is in the air. That is a penalty. Didn't get the highlight, but that was a great play by Xavier Rhodes. Talked about their corners, how they've been playing today, and that's just another example. They've been physical in the run game, in the pass game. It's been a nice showing by these young defensive backs.
Mike Smith upset. He wants the other hash mark to spot the ball. I think he wants it closer to the Atlanta sideline. And if that's where, see how the official spots this. We're discussing it. Julio Jones, 5 catches today, but none in the end zone.
Minnesota Vikings defense has the crowd. They have a lead. Get a chance to pin their ears back and get after Matt Ryan here with 3.5 minutes left in the game.
From the 10-yard line, Ryan open, intercepted. Harrison Smith, he stayed in bounds. He came slicing in on the throw.
We talked about Matt Ryan not being able to win on the road. Talked about it earlier. He leads the league since last year in interceptions on the road. This is number 18, and he just simply tries to force this ball into Roddy White playing cover 2. Harrison Smith was so wide on those numbers. This was like practice for him, just running over there, get in front of this receiver, and get a huge interception to stop that drive before it ever even got started.
As good as Matt Ryan has been, his road record in his career, 24 wins, 25 losses coming into this game. He's been outstanding at home. But with a makeshift offensive line and an offense led by Teddy Bridgewater, he had to play catch-up here in the fourth. McKinnon, the carry. His 14th of the day. Atlanta will use a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining. And the Falcons, if they can quickly keep the Vikings to a field goal, you're still 2 touchdowns away.
Exactly. If they can hold them to a field goal attempt, maybe get a block, maybe a miss, give them the field position again. Either way, I don't think Minnesota is going to do anything risky with the ball. This is the time. Jerick McKinnon, Matt Asiata, turn around, take these tough yards, but most importantly, dig into that clock. 3:19 left. It is certainly your friend.
Mike Smith said, we do not survive turnovers, especially on the road.
You can talk about turnovers. That was the first one of the game, and yes, it's crucial, but it's this man, Teddy Bridgewater, the day he had, the day his offensive line had, the day the running backs had, that is getting these Vikings ahead right now.
Jerick McKinnon waiting for blockers is brought down. Paul Warlow making the tackle. McKinnon excited. He's from Marietta, Georgia, and played his college football at Georgia Southern, so I'm sure friends and family watching back there saying, way to go, Jerick. Along with rookie colleague Teddy Bridgewater, putting on quite a show for the Vikings. Matt Castle was injured last week on the road in New Orleans. Bridgewater came on in relief, got his first NFL start today. Ran for a score, threw for over 300 yards. A left ankle injury knocked him out. Christian Ponder has come on to try and seal it for the Vikings.
Got to go back to that big call by Mike Zimmer. That Blair Walsh 55-yard field goal attempt, and he nailed it. If they would have missed that, Matt Ryan would have had the ball on the minus 45 with a chance to get even in this football game. Huge call, huge kick by Blair Walsh.
McKinnon again, weaving his way inside the 20. He's averaging over 8 yards a carry.
This Atlanta defensive line made an effort in the offseason to get bigger. Talked to Brian Cox. But so far today, they have been simply manhandled by this front of these Minnesota Vikings. This was a team that wasn't doing anything in the running game after Adrian Peterson was suspended. And there's Brian Cox talking to his guys, rallying his guys. But it might be a little bit too late, because this offense has found its groove in the running game today.
Been a game of hard knocks for the Falcons. Jerick McKinnon, after Matt Asiata, and the Falcons will use their last timeout. Matt Asiata has scored 3 touchdowns, carried 20 times today. He's the tough inside guy, and McKinnon, the rookie, run well outside at 132 yards.
Either way you look at it, they wanted to force their will in the running game. It's something they haven't been able to do, and they were able to do it today against a revamped Atlanta defensive front that just could not match up. A lot of gutsy calls today by Mike Zimmer. One that went against him, I think, with the runoff at the end of the first half, but going forward on 4th down, getting the touchdown to Matt Asiata, then that long field goal attempt. Those are decisions that win football games, and it seems like they're coming to fruition today.
And adding a 2-point conversion. 2nd down, 7. We'll have the 2-minute warning, stop the clock. McKinnon carries. And since Atlanta has no timeouts, this will take us to the 2-minute warning. And the Vikings will be facing a 3rd down with a 10-point lead. And time running out for Atlanta on the road. Here in Minneapolis, they've been smiling in the sunshine, the team in purple. We have 2 minutes remaining. The Vikings were hoping he could be the face of the franchise and at his first NFL start. He's given every indication he's capable. Matt Ryan has done what he can do for Atlanta as Ponder keeps on 3rd down, and at the 15 it'll bring up a 4th down. So the field goal unit coming out to make it a 13-point game if Walsh can be good on this kick.
I think this is a smart decision here, Chris. Obviously you could run another play, try to eat as much clock as you can, but that would give the Falcons, if this is a converted field goal, the chance to, or if they didn't go for it, they'd give the Falcons a chance to go down, score a touchdown, get the ball back, and then have a field goal to tie. You put it somewhat more out of reach here if you convert and make this lead 13 points.
33-yard try. And he made from 55 and now for 33. And the Vikings, 41 points. Matt Ryan will need 2 touchdowns if at all possible to rally this Falcon team. No timeouts and 1:14 to go. Tom West down there, part of our thanks to Tom West, Bob Hagan of the Vikings Public Relations Department, working with Bridgewater, who was so likable when you chat with him. He's got that young face, and that's something that they talk about for somebody very comfortable, composed, even in conversation, but not cocky, not over the top.
Not at all. Confident for sure, but very likable. You want to sit down. He's engaging, very affable. You can tell him jokes, and he's very calm with it.
Even going back to, at once a Heisman Trophy candidate, his teammates said he's a star, just don't tell him. He never did the mugging or the publicity for the Heisman. He wasn't disappointed when there was talk of being the #1 overall pick. At least he didn't show it to a quarterback drafted later in the 1st round, the 3rd quarterback.
Well, Minnesota's certainly happy that he fell as far as he did, and got to give credit to the GM and head coach for moving back into the 1st round to go get this kid. Needed a face of the franchise. Couldn't have come along at a better time with all the controversy that they've had to deal with this season for his first start to have the game he's having.
Devin Hester up across the 25-yard line. Rick Spielman and Mike Zimmer. When you talk about the decision makers here in Minnesota, the producer of today's game, Mike Burks, our director, Michael Frank. Associate Director Tavis Strand from Minneapolis Washburn High School. The Millers, glad to have him as part of our crew. The broadcast associate Mike Strack, our technical producer Tom Lynch, technical director Ernie Bauer, and our audio mixer Kevin McCloskey. James Petralka helping us up in the booth with Rick Odioso, our statistician. They do fine work week in and week out. We enjoy bringing you the NFL on Fox. Across the 36-yard line, Julio Jones has a 1st down. Let's get an update again on Teddy Bridgewater with Jennifer Hill.
Well, Chris, most people saw it as a very good sign. Teddy Bridgewater came back out of the locker room. His ankle is just sprained. Those x-rays were negative, Chris.
Well, that's encouraging if it's just a sprain. But they have a short week, remember. Pass complete. Devin Hester out of the 45. Remember, the Vikings have to play Thursday at Green Bay.
Green Bay coming off a annihilating win at Chicago, 38-17 today. Will be another big test for this Vikings offense.
Clock running, no timeouts. Atlanta, 20 seconds. Ryan underneath. Jaquiz Rogers. Need to spike it here.
Big win today by Minnesota. At home, Teddy Bridgewater debut. These fans here in the outdoor stadium at the University of Minnesota are loving this victory today.
5 seconds remain here. We'll take you out to the 49ers and Eagles. San Francisco leading by 5 at home against the unbeaten Philadelphia Eagles. And you see the time left in that game. Troy Aikman, Joe Buck, Aaron Andrews on the call. They have 3 safeties in the end zone. And interception. Josh Robinson will seal it. The Vikings behind their version of Teddy ballgame. improve their record to 2-2. The Falcons on the road with the loss. They fall to 2-2 for Jen Hale. And Rondé Barber, I'm Chris Myers. Let's head to the Eagles and 49ers and Joe Buck.